Hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Good to see you again.
Yeah, nice to see you. Sorry, I was like 1 minute late.
Oh, no, no, don't worry. We are Kenyans.
Yeah. 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 That thing of Kenyans. It's a good thing and also a bad thing, but
Yeah,
um, I try as much as possible at least to be on time
yeah.
because
Hmm? I was
time
thinking
is
the
really
other day,
important. Yeah.
when I go back to Kenya and people start doing that thing of making you wait 2 hours, I would go absolutely mad.
Exactly. Same. Like I also feel a certain type of way, especially when I have to meet someone or,
Uh-huh.
just do an interview. Like, even with you, we had set an appointment and I had to fulfill it. So I had like three or four alarms.
Oh,
One like 10 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago. And, it's just important just to be on time because you also give the other person that level of confidence that, this person values me, values my time, and is
yeah.
actually willing to do whatever, people want to do. So, yeah.
Yeah, actually, speaking of interviews, you told me that do you help people with interviews preparation or
Yes, I do.
ah
Yes.
so
Yeah.
so even before we go far, remember to follow Matt Wafula, and
Yeah.
he's here today and he's got so much to share.
Yeah. Thank you.
You see
Thank you.
my cousin here, he keeps making fun of me saying that I should just nod my head.
Uh, yeah, but it's a pleasure. At least it's a pleasure to know people. The world is very small, and
Yeah.
sometimes you think you don't know people, but then you would be so shocked that you know you might know one person who knows the other person, and the other person actually knows you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just a very, very huge but small global village,
I know.
and tunafaa tusaidiane. We need to help each other out.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
tell us about
Yeah.
where you are, first of all.
Okay. Okay. So I'm in a small town called Brno,
Uh-huh.
Brno. It's in Czech
BRN. So
Republic.
not Prague.
No, no, at the moment, I'm not in Prague. At the
Mm-hmm.
moment, I'm not in Prague. I'm in Brno.
Uh-huh.
It's the second largest city in Czech Republic.
Uh-huh.
It's approximately 2.5 hours drive or 3 hours by train from Prague.
Mm-hmm.
And the nearest biggest city is actually Vienna,
Uh-huh.
which is in Austria. So,
Oh.
yeah, Brno is somehow centrally located in this region, and
Mm-hmm.
it's really, really convenient for most people who stay here because, yes, it is in Czech Republic,
Mm-hmm.
but on one end, it just takes you like an hour and a half to get to Vienna.
Mm-hmm.
It also takes you approximately an hour to get to Bratislava, which is in Slovakia,
Mm-hmm.
and it takes you approximately 2 hours to get to Hungary.
Ah, so it's very close to the other countries as well.
Yes, it is very close, and most of the times I even do like a road trip with my friends,
Ah. So
and we cover.
sorry
uh
to interrupt. So when you're a Kenyan and you're living like in Czech, do you just travel
Yes,
without a visa to the other countries or how does it
yeah, you travel without a visa because one thing, the beauty about the EU
mm-hmm.
is that, okay, there's the European Union and also
Yeah,
there's the Schengen countries.
yeah.
So the thing is, most European Union countries are in Schengen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um, Forgive me if I make a mistake, but I
No,
remember
no.
the
Mm-hmm.
last time I researched about this,
Mm-hmm.
I know there are around 29 or 30 European Union countries, approximately there.
Mm-hmm.
And then amongst these countries, they are, I think, 27 Schengen countries.
Ah.
So if a country is in the Schengen region, it means if you have a residence permit or if you have a visa of one of the Schengen countries, you are allowed to move around all the other Schengen countries without any restrictions.
Yeah, so like I've done some research on that. There's something that you can get that's called the EU Blue Card.
Yes, that one is also there.
Yeah.
Some countries are trying to phase it out because with in the EU there are usually so many different changes regarding laws and everything. So what I know is that at the moment that blue card is still there, but then it's not really, really, really that.
Yeah, they're not like really talking about it. It's not like it's one of their like every country wants to just have its own work permit, its own visa system and that.
Yes. But then as you talked about it before, as a Kenyan or as any other national, so to speak, non-EU national who has either a visa to stay in the Schengen or has a work permit to work in the Schengen, you easily or freely just move around the Schengen region.
Ah, that's interesting. But you can't go and work there.
It depends. It depends. There are so many laws. It depends. For example, I also do some side jobs and in acting. And since I have a work permit in Czech Republic, I am considered for jobs in these regions. But of course, the company has to just submit an application that I am allowed to work in Czech Republic and I will be working maybe in Austria for a certain project. And I might need to just inform the government there that I will be working so that they can get tax from me.
Ah, so your bank account works across the border?
Yes, it works across the border. It is so easy in terms of payment. It is really, really easy because I can even send money to someone in one other Schengen country. And most of the time, if it's the same bank, they just receive the money instantly.
There's something like when we came to the UK, there's a national insurance number.
Yes.
So do you also get the same?
Yes, I get that number. It just has a different name here. It's called the birth number.
Oh, birth number.
Yes. And how it works is when you're still new, when your birth number is being processed, they use your birthday as your birth number as you wait for the birth number to be allocated to you. So they're going to use that, meaning they will just be you checking your passport and they will check your date of birth, and that is your birth number until one is allocated to you by the Home Office. Here we call it the Ministry of Immigration. Yeah.
So, like, walk me through the process. Like, what made you think of going to the Czech Republic? Were you in Kenya or were you in another country?
Okay. So, for me, it has been, I would say, a unique journey.
It's so everyone has a beautiful story. When you meet people out here, like if you sat down and had a coffee, it's just
Yeah. Now, for me, just to cut the story short, I came to Czech Republic because of a friend. And what happened was, at that time I was in Poland and I was doing a diplomacy program. And my friend had applied for a job in Czech Republic. So they called him for an interview. And he was supposed to do the interview on a Friday. And that week, I remember I had finished my diplomacy courses and I was just free. And I said, why not? Since I have this status where I can easily move around in the Schengen, and I'd never been to Czech Republic, we can come together, because they wanted to do like a face-to-face interview with him. So we got on a bus. Transport is actually very cheap here. We got on a night bus from Warsaw to Prague. It was approximately 8 hours. No restrictions. No one even asks you for your ID. They just want to see the ticket, the bus ticket.
Oh.
And then you get on a bus and that's it. Like no one will stop you anywhere to check and see, do you have a permit? Because the thing is, the assumption here is if you're already in the EU region or the Schengen region, it means you have valid documents. So whether you're traveling by bus, by train, or by air, like no one would check, like no one would actually really check like thoroughly to confirm that, hey, you have a visa to stay here or a permit. They just check to confirm, oh, you are so and so, but they don't really check your status. Yeah. And that's why if you travel like through air, for example, in the Schengen, there's that Schengen region and non-Schengen region. So the flight, for example, if I'm coming from France, Paris to Prague, I will get on a flight in the Schengen region area, and then the flight will just land and we will get off. We'll arrive at the airport through the Schengen area side. So there's no passport control, there's nothing. You just get off the plane, get into the building, and, you know, get out of the airport, continue with your life. That's how it is.
Yeah, so like if someone got a tourist visa and they went there and they decided, hey, I don't want to go home. But yeah, the problem will be, of course, the birth number.
Yeah, the problem with the birth number, and also I think we'll even talk about that, because that is something really important we have to address. But just to go back to the same story. So I came to Prague, he did his interview, you know, and I was interested with that company at that time. Like I was just interested to know about it, because I had not really known much about it. I knew the company existed, but I didn't really know that, oh, they could employ foreigners. At that time, I didn't really know.
What is the specific industry?
IT.
IT. Yeah, I've seen, like, I was doing some research on Estonia, and IT specialists especially are really taken there.
Even here in Prague is like one of the hubs or centers for IT. There are so many foreign companies, and they really advertise for jobs, because there's a deficit for workers here. There are so many companies. If you check on LinkedIn alone, there's a lot of, you know, job advertisements about IT opportunities, and not only IT.
Yeah, which are the others, like, for example, off the top of your head that you can think of?
There's management, customer service, there's research, both scientific and just the normal general research. There's a lot regarding acting.
Oh, so I can come there as an actor.
There's a lot of opportunities, a lot.
Do you need to know the language? What's the language that's spoken there?
It's Czech. The language is called Czech.
Is it like a tough sort of, what's the dialect? Is it like Russian?
No, it's not like Russian. It's just unique in its own way.
How do you say water?
Do I even know?
You don't even need to know Czech.
You don't need to know much. You just need to know the basics. What is really important here that you need to know, and I think it's also important in other countries, just know a bit about their culture. One important thing about Czech Republic is when you get into a shop or when you get into an office, it's important for you to say hello to people that you find there. And also when you leave, it is important for you to say goodbye. that is really, really important. That determines how people would receive you.
Oh, so they are
And
friendly. Ile ya kusalimu, the one you greet people when you get
hiyo
into a matatu.
ni
Hello,
important
hello.
sana. Yes, hiyo ni important. And I came to understand that when I was also in Africa, because I lived in Cameroon for some time. And you know, Cameroon is different in a way because it's a French-speaking country. So every time, the first time I got on a matatu, I didn't say anything, and people looked at me in a very weird way. You can see how I was looking at you, because in Nairobi, we don't really care. You get on a matatu, you don't really care about anyone. There, when someone gets on a matatu, you have to say hi to everyone. So when I get in a matatu, I have to say bonjour, you know, and everyone will respond.
Oh.
And that is respectful.
Yeah.
But at that time when I went there, I didn't know. So even here, when you get into a place like a shop or an office, you have to say dobry den. That is like hello.
Dobry den.
Dobry den.
Dobry, yeah. There must be like an accent that I'm missing, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, dobry den. And then when you're leaving, you have to call them like nasla or naskladano, just to say goodbye or see you later, like see you again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for example, if sorry, I keep interrupting. If someone got an interview, if for example they went and applied for a job and they got an interview and the people know that they're English speaking, so maybe they can write it down. So on the Skype interview they can say Dobry den, and then it will maybe impress.
Yes, it really, really helps. And it really helps in terms of breaking the ice, you know.
Yeah.
Someone would just be amazed that, oh wow, you know this. Like I wasn't expecting you to know this, but you know this.
Yeah.
And then there's a way they just receive you. There's a way they just open up to you. You know?
Yeah.
And these guys here, they really, really feel, especially when you do that, they really feel like, oh wow, you really want to learn something about us. So they really welcome you with open arms. That helps a lot.
Yeah.
Because that basic knowledge of that small language can make these people do a lot of things for you. They can help you around.
That's amazing to know.
Yeah. So, and I think these are just normal things that every individual needs to know.
Yeah.
Irrespective of the environment where you are in, because you know, if you embrace someone or if you respect someone, then they'll definitely open up to you and try to assist you as much as possible.
Yeah, just basic courtesy.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. And I think most of us, like in Africa, we have that basic courtesy. It's just that some people have been filled with ideas of how people are just mean out here. So you maybe like you're expecting some form of, I don't know, like Armageddon or something, but it's just normal. People are just normal people.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what's the first visa you ever got?
The first visa I got was the US visa. Yes.
You are so traveled. It's amazing. Like
thank you. Yeah, and that really helped me a lot. And one more thing that I can also say before we continue is believing in yourself and also challenging yourself is the most important thing that can take you wherever you want to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. It can take you a very long time to get what you want, but that continuous belief that, you know, I can do this, and also that continuous energy to push yourself is what actually got me to where I am today. Because I remember I was this young guy back home, you know, normal life, you have parents, you're just living a normal life, you know, no more struggles. But then you see someone who is, you know, doing so well for themselves, and you just get curious and you wonder, kwani huyu mtu anafanya nini?
Yeah.
You know, yeah, like I see someone who is really developing themselves, and I also want to be that way. I also want to be ambitious. So I just did a lot of research, kawaida research, like you just talk to people you feel have more knowledge about opportunities, about jobs, you know. You see stuff on the TV, you see how people are doing things, and you wonder, like, how did this person get a chance to even go and study abroad, for example? You know, and then you start
and that's
becoming
important. When you start asking yourself questions, if you have children, if you make them ask questions that are important, that's how they just, that's how they progress.
Yeah, because I remember I used to ask my mom, my dad sometimes, like, hawa watu wanafanya nini? You see? And then my parents used to just tell me, but wewe nao unafanya nini? So unaenda shule, uko shule unakutana na watu, like you're meeting people there. What are the conversations you're having with these people? Are you just having conversations about going out, having fun? Or are you also having extra conversations? Because don't get me wrong, having fun is really important. It's part of life.
It's also,
Yeah, but it is also important for you to think about where you want to be maybe next week.
It's like the one where we were told by teachers where you're just playing with someone, but they know they're studying at night.
Exactly. That's it. That's it. So what I actually did is I tried as much as possible to use the internet at school because we couldn't afford internet back home.
That's normal.
It wasn't even a conversation for me to ask my dad, ati suninunulie bundles. You know, like that wasn't a conversation. I couldn't even do that.
Yeah.
Because your dad would ask you, "Datoa pesa ya bundles and I need to make sure there's food for everyone in the house or there's school fees." So I just used the opportunity at school, like there's resources that I had at school. Used the internet at school, you know, read a lot of newspapers because during our time, and by our time I mean like 10 years ago, most of the opportunities were on newspapers, Nation. So I tried as much as possible. Every day when I go to school, I approach one of my teachers, namuomba your newspaper, and then I just go through, I see scholarship opportunities, and then you just become curious. You see the type of universities that are written there, the kind of qualifications, the kind of courses, and I'm wondering, can I do this? Do I even know this? What does this mean? What does that mean? And then you just ask around. You get wrong information from people, you get right information from people. And, you know, you try out an application, you just get rejections. And I got a lot of rejections from so many things that I've been doing in life. Even today before we even did this, we started this live. I was doing a phone interview. I had applied for a job early in the morning because I wake up so early, and then I just go through LinkedIn and I look for different opportunities because who doesn't want to make money?
Yeah, we're all trying to improve our career. We're trying to get better.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. So I applied for a job this morning, and like 20 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago, this guy calls and he tells me like, "Hi, I've seen your application and I just have a couple of questions to ask you, you know?" And I had to really compose myself and try as much as possible to properly answer those questions because at this part of the world, you really, really need to have substance on your fingertips.
Yeah, you need to show them your value and
Exactly. So as I was talking before, like you have to be curious, you have to try as much as possible. I did that interview, it was a rejection, but it is a positive thing from my side because I was able to speak to someone who gave me some information about his company. You know, I was able to learn from that interview because he asked me a couple of questions. Some I really, really tried to answer because I didn't really know how to answer them. Most of the questions I knew how to answer them. It was just a walk in the park because of so many interviews that I've done. And that is just a positive thing because each and every day when you do these things, it helps you to even be relaxed.
Yeah.
when you're doing interviews.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you're already prepared. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So
The rejection part is actually very important because I've been meeting people who are messaging me and they're telling me, I've applied for like 5 of them and I've not even got a reply. You see, I've not even gotten a, it
yeah.
takes a lot. I also face rejections. And what I always say, we are already outside the country and we're getting rejected. So when you're inside Kenya and you're applying, don't feel discouraged. It can happen to anyone.
And another problem that we have is I will look at you and assume that, oh, this lady has made it because, you're wherever you are.
Yeah.
Just because you're in the UK, it doesn't mean that you've made it.
Yeah,
No.
you also have dreams, you have aspirations, you're trying to make your
A
life
lot.
better every day.
You have a lot. You have a lot of aspirations. You have a lot of challenges.
Yeah.
I know it seems like your life is a bit better, but to you
Yeah.
it might not be
Yeah,
because you
because
have
you
also other standards and other
yeah.
ambitions. And also
Yeah.
you have so many challenges. I still today, I wonder how people manage in the UK because things are so expensive out there, you
It's
know?
not it just you go with it, you flow about. For me, the toughest part of adjusting to life in the UK is having to think about what I'll have for dinner today. So I think about what will be for dinner tomorrow.
Yes.
I was used to just going to Mama Mboga, buying my sukuma wiki, coming back and cooking. But now I have to think about like the whole week. So like my
Yeah,
husband has to like do all the thinking sometimes because I find it difficult. It's just a
it is.
different culture. It's a different way of living.
It is. And it's also important for our brothers and sisters back home to realize that, you know, yes, you're going through challenges, but also
Yeah.
we who are here are facing a lot of challenges.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where you are at the moment, you don't really have like a very large group of family members or friends who can just help you the way you can be helped back home. No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
So you really have to be careful with each and everything that you're doing because if it gets to a point you have a problem, it is tough. It is tough just to get the help. It is really, really tough because sometimes it's like you're on your own. No, no.
That's true. That's
Back
true.
home, back home, I feel like most of the time it's somehow easy because you have a lot of family members who can be able to assist in so many different ways.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. The support system is important.
Yes, yes.
Even someone that you can
But
just, for example, if I could just leave and maybe go see my sister, for like 10 minutes, it
yeah,
would maybe lift your spirits in a different way, because when
exactly.
you're abroad and there's no one around you that you know well, it becomes it's a bit of a challenge. So like
Yeah,
in Czech, do you know many Kenyans who are there?
I know a number of Kenyans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know a number of Kenyans. I can count them.
Mm-hmm.
I think I know around 12, 13 Kenyans.
And they are there
Yeah,
on different visas, maybe.
they are here on different visas. I know some who are residents.
Mm-hmm.
By residents, I mean they have like the long-term um, permits which allow them to stay, and they get more benefits from the government than I actually get.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
how long do they allow you like to stay before you can apply for PR, for permanent residency?
We are allowed to stay for 5 years.
So that's like the
Yeah.
UK.
Yes, but it also depends.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like for me, because I'm working and I came here and I started working, so I'm allowed to stay for 5 years and then I can apply for the PR. But
Mm-hmm.
if you come as a student,
Mm-hmm.
it's different. A year is considered half. So if you come as a bachelor student and you're doing like a 4-year program, When you finish the 4 years, you'll be considered to have stayed for 2 years.
So maybe studying
That's
at
how.
day and living at night.
Yeah. So that is how it is. So you won't be allowed to apply for the PR. You'll just be told you still have 3 more years to go. That is, if you stay for the 3 years while working, then you'll be considered for it.
I have people who usually ask if they can get jobs to do with, like the low skill jobs, like becoming nannies, becoming cleaners, carpenters. Although carpenters it's one of the high skilled jobs that it's considered a high skilled job.
It's high skill here.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, are there opportunities for people to do like, like retail, just standing in supermarkets, just these job, like pushing trolleys?
Okay, I know things here are a bit different. So I know, for example, jobs in the supermarket, they would give those jobs to locals or someone who has a PR. Yeah, someone who has a PR, or if you're a citizen, if you become a citizen, then and you want to do that, you can be allowed to do that in the supermarket. I know in stores like McDonald's, KFC, there you can work as a student. Yeah, Starbucks, you can work as a student. They don't really limit you. You don't have to be a citizen or a local. You can be a foreigner and you'll be allowed to work there. Yeah, provided you just have your visa, you'll be allowed to work. I know, like in companies, for example, there are some companies, like Czech companies, which they haven't really opened up to foreigners. And I understand them because, the language of communication there is Czech. So it will be a challenge for a foreigner to actually work there.
Yeah. Sometimes, especially client-facing, front-facing jobs where you're in direct contact with the person coming in. It's useful when it's someone who's used to the culture.
Yes.
Yeah, I was facing a challenge when I came here, and yet I speak English, because there's a way that they would speak easily to someone that they relate with. Yeah, but for us, we can be quite abrupt, and we just cut our sentences. Yes, madam. Yes, sir. Like, and yet they want a conversation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there are also some companies which are Czech, but employ the English language as the language of communication. For example, where I'm working right now, it's a totally Czech. It's like 100% Czech company, but the language of communication is English, and they also employ foreigners as well, provided you are allowed to live and work in Czech Republic, then they can employ you. So there's that. I also know that there's some, as you said, maybe low-skilled jobs.
Especially seasonal work. What's like do you know anything about seasonal work there? Like
Not
farming,
really.
like in Canada, there's like people who go to just pick mushrooms. There's like apple picking in New Zealand.
Here for the seasonal ones, I don't know, but I know that there's some jobs in some, like maybe factories that people do.
Yeah, that's another one that can be seasonal and permanent.
Yeah, some take different nationalities, some do not. I don't really have like a plethora of information regarding that, but I just know that there are some factories where I know some Africans also work, other foreigners work as well, non-EU citizens work, and the pay is okay. The working standards are also okay. So I know that exists, but I don't really know a lot of companies that offer that job opportunity.
Yeah, that's very important to know. Because I'm sure just now there's someone who's probably never thought of the Czech Republic as a destination of work. You know, it's interesting because maybe in your head you're thinking, oh, these places, they're just Europe or Russia and all that. So it's important to see someone who's actually there to give someone else hope.
Yes.
Yeah. So like, what are the websites that someone would use to apply for work? For example, like just the ones you can think of. Because I know I've not prepared you for some of these questions. Thank you for answering.
Yeah, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. Not a problem. For me, I think one of the best ways for you to be able to see the opportunities that are there is to use LinkedIn. LinkedIn is really important. And there's a lot you can do with LinkedIn, a lot. There are ways you can be able to search for maybe specific jobs that you have in mind.
Yeah, I've used LinkedIn a lot.
Yes, that really works for me anytime. If I'm looking for a job, if I'm looking for companies, that is the first go-to resource for me. There are also other websites you can use. One of them I've actually forgotten the name, but I will check it out later on and then I can send it to you. Maybe you can post it.
I'll post it in the description.
That one also has a lot of information regarding jobs.
Indeed, is there Indeed there?
Yes, Indeed is also there. Yes, that one is important. Monster, I don't really know. I haven't really checked it out. There's jobs.cz. Again, jobs.cz. That one is really good as well. You don't really have to register. You can just go through it. There's a number of, there are a lot of opportunities there you can see. There's another one that I've also forgotten the name, but it has a lot of jobs for Czech Republic and Slovakia. Because Itambo, you know, these two countries were one, Czechoslovakia.
These countries, like for me, I've only had them from BBC. When my grandfather was tuning, you know, and then it would be like a story about somewhere in Kosovo, and you know.
I know. There's a lot, and then once in a while, I usually see opportunities also on Instagram because I think I'm here. So you know, when you're checking stories and then those things pop up, so that might maybe be a challenge for someone who's not here. Facebook as well. When I'm here, I can see a number of jobs being advertised on Facebook. But for me, I think the best way is for someone to use LinkedIn, because for LinkedIn, you'll see a number of opportunities.
And you can connect with people.
Yes, you can connect with people. You can check out those companies. You know, see the jobs, check the company, go to the company's website, have like a myriad of information about the company and also the position. That is where you can get specific information, for example, with regards to, are they, for example, funding for work visas for someone? Because I know here, there are companies that can actually bring you from abroad to come and work here.
They sponsor your visa, they do everything.
Yes, provided you're someone who has the skills or qualifications as per the job that they've advertised for.
And also, just as long as you know, there are people whose blood just like each other, so like they can interview you, they like you, and they see how like you can be an asset or loyal, because it's also difficult for companies to get loyal employees.
Exactly.
So as long as you can prove yourself that you are valuable. Because you see, like a Kenyan can hear 400 euros, you're thinking, wow, who can pay that amount of money? You know, but they will, and they do.
And they even pay more. They even pay more than that just to bring you over, because they've seen something in you that they believe is important for them. And this also brings me to talk about, you know, the importance of networking. Because, you know, when you're working, you have to network. You have to the same thing that I said before. You know, if you really value yourself and you really believe that you have what it takes, that also shows when you're interviewing with someone.
Yeah, the
So it's really, really
confidence.
important. Yes,
Yeah, the confidence and
it's really,
speaking clearly, and remember to greet them.
yes, that
Yeah,
is key. That is just key. That is
yeah.
really important. Um, yeah, so there are a number of jobs, a number of companies, and another easier way for you to just see which companies are available in a certain region is for you to use Google. Just go to Google and type companies in Brno, for example,
Ah.
and
Could
then
you
you
could you
know
spell it for us again? That's
RNO, B
BRIN.
R no, Brian, Rambo, November, Oprah. Yeah,
Ah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That's because
that's all.
sometimes when you've not been, it's difficult to know
Yes,
the towns you're applying for.
yes. Or just to make it easy,
Mm-hmm.
just Google jobs in Czech Republic.
Mm-hmm.
And then the good thing is that you'll get a lot of information about the different job sites. You'll
Yeah.
get a lot of information about different companies. You will also see a number of job positions showing up on the Google search.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's now just your work to go through at least each and everything just to get more information from there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's
so
what I do
far I've
sometimes.
yeah, so far I've noted that we are going to have more lives with you. And I think for
Yeah.
next time I will even prepare you. So you'll let us know how to prepare for an interview
Okay.
because you've done them, and like you have
Yeah.
lots of like valuable knowledge on that. And thank you for being so humble and sharing it with us. And then the
Well,
visas for the other countries, I'm also like
yeah.
quite interested to learn from someone who's actually applied.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So like America, Belgium.
Yeah. Exactly. Actually,
Yeah,
our uncle actually.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
So,
So far, which is the most beautiful country you visited?
wow. I think for me, the most beautiful, and I have my reasons. I
Mm-hmm.
think all countries, first of all, are beautiful in their own ways.
Yeah.
And you know, you go there, and depending on what you like, you'll be able to enjoy a certain country. But for me, so far, I think the most beautiful country that I've been to is Japan, and I have
Ah,
my
did you meet
reasons.
someone there? You know, you sound like there's a reason behind.
Not really. I'm someone who loves nature a lot. Like I love
Ah,
walking. I love jogging. That actually helps me to just clear my mind and release my anxiety.
mm-hmm.
So I usually take a lot of walks every day, you know. Yeah. So I really like Japan because of the diverse nature that it has,
Mm-hmm.
and also just the uniqueness. It's somehow very different from most of the countries out here. You know,
Ah, mm-hmm.
we have a lot of similarities between Africa and Europe in a
Mm-hmm.
way. Because, for example, look at Nairobi, and it just looks similar to what you would see in some parts of the UK, for example.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah. But then for Japan, it is somehow different. Yes, you'll get some similarities with Nairobi, but
Mm-hmm.
then for them, it's a matter of um, diversification in terms of architecture and nature.
Ah, yeah, they've
So,
built their things differently.
yes, build them differently. They promote a lot of protection of different kind of species of trees, of flowers,
Mm-hmm.
and they embrace that in their architecture. They embrace that in their um, ways of life, and also their culture is somehow different and also very friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
they're very
yeah.
respectful. They really, really value their time. they're very, very, very specific on time. If you have to meet someone at 10:51, it has to be 10:50. Yes.
Not like us. Not like us.
It's not like us. It's not like us.
Yeah.
So I had some difficulties when I went there at first because, I didn't really know that. So if it's 10:50, you have to be there a couple of minutes before. And everything is on time, buses, trains, everything is actually structured. So you have to really, really prepare yourself beforehand to do anything.
Hey, you must have been sweating like, oh, I need to go to this next.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's good. Life outside, I think life outside Africa teaches you discipline a lot.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Because like personally, I've had to take care of my kids myself, with the help of my husband and my mother-in-law. But at the same time, I have to really be involved more than I would if I was back in Kenya.
Yeah, here, things just make you do stuff. Like no one will even tell you to do anything.
You have
just
to
wake
act.
up and do.
Yeah.
You cannot wait for anyone to do anything for you here. Like
Yeah.
it's not going to work.
Yeah, and it actually promotes loyalty to companies because you can't leave your job. You need it.
Exactly. You can't. You can't.
Yeah. So thanks a lot for today. I think we can wind up there. We've learned a lot about Czech Republic, and we'll schedule another one, and we'll speak about these countries and different visas because they are all interesting in the visa systems.
Yes.
Yeah. Any word to encourage someone who's watched this and they want to join you in Czech?
What I can say is I am not better than anyone. Don't be on the other side and feel like, oh, these people have made it. We are also still in the struggle.
Yeah.
If we did it, you can also do it. And embrace rejections because rejections are actually the channel for you to be able to make it.
They're a ladder.
If you don't go through, exactly. If you don't go through rejection, you'll not really understand what life is. Because life is all about challenges and you have to embrace the challenges for you to make it.
Thank you so much, Matt. Please follow Matt Wafula. Don't flood him with questions. He needs to still apply for jobs. And
it's not really a problem. If I have time, if you have a question and I have time, I'm just more than willing to help because I was also helped.
Yeah,
before.
Yeah. That's
every day I'm also being helped. So and I'm learning a lot more. So
so follow him, ask questions that you would like, and we'll have him again. We can do this regularly, just with the new stuff that we see around. Because there's a lot of things.
Just before I let you go, I have another friend who also helps as well with a lot of information regarding getting jobs, scholarships, and he has a page. So the page is called JAPAY. Wait, I don't want to make a mistake. Just give me a moment. Let me check because you can get a lot of information there. And I just
can they come to our lives as well?
Yeah. They can come to our lives as well. He has a lot of information. He does a lot of content regarding all this. So I learn a lot from him as well. Sometimes I also post his stories on my stories. Yeah.
That's perfect. So we follow you because I love your stories. I love especially seeing travel when I've not been able to travel for some time. It's just it's good to be inspired. Yeah, because it's unajua there's a Kenyan who can see that and be like, these people are just showing us. No, it's just get inspired. Think one day I'll get there. Yeah.
So it's called Japayans.
Japayan.
Japayan. Yeah. You can get him on Instagram.
I'm going to save this one.
Yeah, and I think I will also I'll share his page to you so that you can also just see his information. Maybe you can even repost some of the stories that he has. It's really, really helpful. Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I'll see you next
Welcome.
time. Have a
Thank you.
good rest of the day.
Thanks, you too.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye-bye.